I'm Ilana, and I've been gone for a while. So if you're new here, welcome. If you have decided to continue watching my videos after the unplanned break that I took, then great. This is my channel, Unabridged Adventures, and today we're going to be doing just a reading and then life update because so much has happened since I saw you last, and my plans have changed quite a bit since then. So let's just get right into it. And the setup has changed again because I've realized that I like this side of my shelf more, like I'd like to present it, because this is where I have, like, I know you can't see down here, but I don't want to put the Wheel of Time any higher on my shelf because I feel like it's going to kill me if I do. Like, it will all just fall. Even though I know how irrational that is, but yeah, so I have Wheel of Time, Patrick Rothfuss's stuff, and then Way of Kings. And then I've got Words of Radiance on this table here that you guys cannot see yet. So basically, I left off saying that I'm going to focus mainly on books by Indigenous authors for August, and I planned on making a video about, like, oh, I'm moving into my dorms, here's how I set everything up, and honestly, my dorm was looking great. Like, I had part of a video filmed for, like, unpacking my books and organizing everything, and I was really excited to show you guys my room and, like, everything that was happening there. And then, the reality of COVID really hit, and people at my school started getting sick, and I was there for just about 2 weeks when I went home to visit my family, and my mom went, you know, why don't you just not go back to school on Monday? So that Sunday night we went and we picked up like half of my stuff and just came right back home, and I've technically not moved completely out of my room yet because there's a lot of paperwork that has to be done there, but I have pretty much moved back home completely. There are just a few things that I still need to go up there and pick up, and other than that, as much as I want to be in dorms right now, it's physically not possible. And also, during this time, I finally got an official diagnosis of hypermobility syndrome. And with all that, I also didn't want to be in dorms. I have a lot of physical therapy and stuff that I need to be doing right now, which hasn't made quarantine super fun, but you know, you do what you gotta do to get by. So, I have got Coke today instead of tea because I need the energy and the motivation. So I haven't made any videos recently because I was really excited to move into dorms, and so I kind of took a break to get settled in for like that first week. And then that second week I was like, oh crap, I need to be focusing on my school. So I figured I'd take a break, and then once I got everything in my dorm figured out, then I'd show you guys. And just about the time where I was like, okay, everything's where I want it, I moved back home. So yeah, that's pretty much just the reason. And then I moved back home, and the week after that I got an official diagnosis, and so I physically and emotionally just have not been at the level where I want to be for filming. I just haven't felt up to it or had the time. But I finally have some free time, and I'm really excited about books, and I want to talk about them. So, okay, I am all over the place today, but I'm gonna run with it. So, as I said earlier, whenever I went completely off my train of thought, I was going to focus on reading Indigenous books for the month of August and on. And I have been working on that. I still am working on that because holy crap, September is almost over, and I'm so freaked out by that. And because of all the stuff that was happening in August, I didn't get a ton read. While I was still in dorms during August, I finished The Dragon Reborn, which is the third book in the Wheel of Time. And again, I'm taking a bit of a break before I start The Shadow Rising, which is right over there at the top of my TBR pile, because I have a lot of... I'm currently reading 4 books, and I want to get down to 2 at the minimum before I keep reading The Wheel of Time, because these books are, they're pretty big. They are pretty thick, and if you look, you can see that there are not many margins, and they just kind of keep going. So I'm trying to, we're just gonna set that there. I'm trying to kind of pace myself with the Wheel of Time because I know that the TV show's coming out soon, and so I should have it finished by then, but I don't want to like rush through it. My memory has been completely shot because of all the brain fog that I've had for the last few weeks, so I cannot remember anything. Yeah. So this is gonna make this video interesting. Okay, so I was finally able to get into Goodreads because I needed to remember any of what I read because I don't remember reading all of these, but I know that I did. In the month of August, I read Warbreaker by Brandon Sanderson and Future Home of the Living God by Louise Erdrich and The Vanishing Half by Britt Bennett, and I finished The Dragon Reborn by Robert Jordan, not Jordan Robert. And that was in September. So I read 4 books, and yeah, I'm not gonna really go into detail, but this is gonna be pretty controversial, I think, because everyone loves Warbreaker. I gave Warbreaker a 2 out of 5 stars. So if you guys want me to do an in-depth review of why I didn't like Warbreaker, I am open to doing that as long as you guys promise not to start yelling at me in the comments. But yeah, I gave Future Home of the Living God 4 stars just because there were some parts that I didn't personally understand and I didn't love the ending, but the book as a whole was absolutely amazing. I don't think it was really meant for me, but yeah, I still thought it was a beautiful book. So yeah, The Vanishing Half got 5 stars, Dragon Reborn got 4 stars. And that's just because I think we're really, like the tension and the story is like ratcheting up with the Wheel of Time, and so I don't think it's quite a 5-star yet, but I think we're getting there, and I'm really excited for that. Okay, so then in September, I started reading. I first off started with Growing Up Dead in Texas by Stephen Graham Jones, and I gave that a 5 out of 5. I thought it was amazing. I didn't completely understand everything, but it didn't matter because just the atmosphere that he creates was just so beautiful and so tangible. And like, I'm a girl from the Midwest, and like my family grew up on a farm, and so I know stuff like tangentially, and I understand that small town living feeling. And so just, gosh, I can't explain it, but reading it, despite him being in Texas and being indigenous, whereas I'm a white girl coming from a small white town in Missouri, but there was just this feeling of just like that small townness and that closeness and the tension that's almost always there. Oh, it was so good. I loved it. I didn't understand everything that happened, but I didn't need to. So yeah, that's a 5 out of 5. I've got The Only Good Indians. I'm getting that in about a week off of my library, and I am so excited to keep reading. So, yep. I am currently reading. Oh, I'm getting out of breath from just talking about that. Okay. So, currently reading on Kindle. Yes, this is my very old Kindle. Split Tooth by Tanya Tagaq. And that was one of the books that I said that I wanted to read, and I had it checked out for my library. And it's very different than what I was expecting, but it's very good. And then I'm also reading Trail of Lightning by Rebecca Roanhorse, and this book is amazing. I'm about 55% through, and I am loving every second of it. So like, Rebecca Roanhorse from now on is just going to be an auto-buy for me. Like, I want to finish this series. I can't wait for, I think it's Black Sun to come out. That's about cultures in South America, pre-Columbian South America, I believe. But anyway, whatever she writes, I will read. And then physically, I am reading, I don't know if you can, we'll do that. I'm reading The Sword of Destiny by Andrei Sapkowski, I think. I'm not great with names, remember? And I am about halfway through, I'd say. Like, you can see my bookmark there. And I am really enjoying this. I didn't like the first short story in here as much, but it's growing on me. It really is. Because I am a stickler for the publication order, so I read, oh, I think I have it here somewhere. I read The Last Wish first, and then I'm reading Sword of Destiny, and then I'm going to go through and then start actually reading the series in order. And yeah, this is really working to set up like Geralt and Dandelion as like characters and friends, and this like drama between Yennefer. And yeah, I'm liking it more than I thought I would, so I am enjoying that. Okay, let's see where I can put that, because I need 2 hands for this. I'm also busy reading Words of Radiance. I cannot show you how far through I am because I've been listening to it on audiobook recently and I haven't updated my progress in the physical book. But I'm liking it. I definitely am. I'm just gonna leave it there. I'm liking it currently. There's so much more for me to get through that I cannot make any decisions about how I'm feeling yet. And so, yep, I'm still continuing to read indigenous authors, and I plan to keep doing that. I want to be reading like at least one every month. Same with how I really want to be reading at least one Black author every month. But we'll see how that goes. So, because of my ginormous physical TBR that I have on my bookshelf, which was not fun to move into dorms and then back out of dorms. I've been on a major book buying ban for, I think, a month now, and I know that doesn't sound like a long time, but it is. And I broke that book buying ban whenever I moved into dorms. So like my first week that I moved into dorms, I was ordering stuff for my dorm and went, you know what? I'm just gonna pick up some books as well. And I got 3 romance books that I am very excited about, and I may have been talking about one on my Twitter a ton because I'm so excited to read it, but I've really been trying to get into romance more because while I read a ton about big books about war and murder and death and what it means to be human and all of that, which is important to read. I think it's very interesting. Sometimes I just need to give my brain a break and enjoy some very nice and fluffy romance. So I went ahead and got A Duke by Default by Alyssa Cole, and I'm going to try and... It is a gorgeous cover. All of her Reluctant Royals covers are absolutely beautiful, and I love the colored backgrounds. Just, okay. Again, Alyssa Cole is an auto-buy for me. I got something on my Kindle. I got her novella, which is Agnes Moore's Wild Night, and I'm so excited for that, but honestly, I just want to have, like, all of Alyssa Cole's books. So, in my effort to do that, I also got the novella Once Ghosted, Twice Shy, which I know with the glare is kind of hard to see, so I'm trying to make this easier on y'all, but look at that. Like, they are just gorgeous, and I need some, like, fluffy lesbian romance in my life. And then, because I have been dealing so much with my own chronic pain and fatigue and brain fog and just everything that comes with fibromyalgia and other related conditions, I got Get a Life, Chloe Brown by Talia Hibbert, and I am so excited. Just, I want to own all of Talia Hibbert's books. I haven't read any of them, but when trying to get into historical romance, I stumbled across an article by her about like the best steamy, diverse romances, and just the way that she wrote that article made me fall in love with her writing style. And so whenever I scrolled down to see who the author of the article was, I'm like, oh my god, I've heard of this girl from, or sorry, this woman from BookTube. And so I just went, okay, you know what? It's an Own Voices Black fibromyalgia main character, and I need it. I need it. So I bought it. And I shouldn't have, but I did, and I'm excited. So after those three, I went, you know what? I'm done buying books for the next month or so. Like, I don't need any more books. But my local used bookstore, I still had credit left over, and I had this nice little summer punch card thing. And I used 4 of the 10 spots. And so if you buy 9 books, you get the 10th one free. And that ends at the end of September. So what did I do but go in and buy 5 books to get the 6th one free. Now, I do want to say I got 6 books and I only paid like $7 for it because I also brought in a lot of books to unhaul. As you can probably see, I am missing the Shadow and Bone trilogy because I just decided that while they were okay, I just wasn't going to reread them anytime soon, and I figure I can trade them in for a series that I'm actually going to read, because I have thoughts on Shadow and Bone that may not be super popular, but that's a whole nother video. So I got 2 Tessa Dare books, because these were the only 2 Tessa Dare books that they had, which I'm very surprised by. But I really want to get into historical romance, and pretty much from everyone that I have seen, specifically, oh, I think it's Lisa, I think. I'll put it in a card. She's like my favorite romance booktuber, and she always talks about Tessa Dare, and just look at these. Okay, so look at that step back. This was not the series I want to start with, because this is the Girl Meets Duke series, and I really want to read the other one that starts with Castles Ever After, because I think Romancing the Duke sounded really interesting, but these both sound great. They seem like a great place to start with historical romance, and so I am excited to get to those. And then, taking a very different turn, but one I'm still so excited for, is Who Fears Death by Nnedi Okorafor, and I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly, but I will check and put a correction if I'm not. And I am so excited to read this. I have read Binti, and I have read Akata Witch, and both of those were absolutely amazing. Like, I trust Nnedi Okorafor to write anything, so I am just so excited to read this. I know she's busy writing like the screenplay for it, I think, for the TV show, or busy writing the script, and it sounds absolutely amazing. So whenever I saw it, I went, I need this. And also just take a second to admire this cover, and then just her covers are always gorgeous, and I can't get over it. Okay, so again, taking a different turn. I know this book is not Scottishly accurate. I don't think that's the correct term. I am so tired right now, y'all. But I know that this book is not a good representation of Scottish people. But at this point, I'm sorry, but I don't care. I want some time traveling romance, so I got Outlander, because it sounded like exactly what I needed at this point. So I understand that Scottish people don't love it, but it's time travel historical romance. How could I pass it up? And I know I'm so tired that I'm like near tears at the moment, just because my sleep schedule has been terrible. And then, of course, because I always look for Terry Pratchett, at my amazing local used bookstore. This was surprisingly the only one they had besides The Color of Magic, and you know what? I am completely fine with that. I'm not going to read the back because I don't think I can say Ankh-Morpork more than once. But this is Unseen Academicals, and it is about how the wizards at the Unseen University, yes, have to learn football because Lord Ventinari tells them to. And if you can't see, I'm busy working on my Terry Pratchett collection. I know that they're out of order. But, yep, that can be added to my Discworld collection up there. Okay. And last but not least, of course, was the book that I got for free, because these were all really reasonably priced. Like, this was $7, and then, oh, I don't want to spill my Coke, but these were all, I think, $4 each, if I remember correctly. Okay, this one was $5, but the other three were $4. And then Unseen Academicals was $7, and this was $8. So I decided to use the free book thing for this one. And it is Jonathan Strange and Mr. Norrell. And I've seen mixed reviews about it, but you know, I've heard pretty much that it is like Sherlock Holmes, but magic. And that sounds great. Like, honestly, that sounds great. I've just read the back, and the Sherlock Holmes thing may not be super accurate, but honestly, I don't care. It's like, what, 19th century magic? Yeah. And I am so fascinated by how magic would work in like the 19th century, so don't judge me. I am so tired, and this took a lot more energy than I thought it would, but those were all the books that I've gotten, and this is my update. And I hope that you are having a better time mentally and physically than I am. So, check the links down below for all of my stuff. But yeah, I hope you guys have a great week, and I hope that you forgive me for this mess of a video. I don't think I've even been looking in the camera for most of the video, so sorry about that. But, bye.